welcome to the slow world, where the world quiets down and nature tells its story. Settle in and allow the weight of the day to drift away. There is nothing you need to remember. Simply listen as we follow a night in the life of a barn owl. The day does not end with a sudden closing. It dissolves. The brilliant, demanding blue of the afternoon sky softens to a gentler, more forgiving shade. The sun, a great, warm presence all day, begins its slow, final descent, relinquishing its power. It paints the western clouds in fading, gentle strokes of apricot, rose, and soft violet. The world holds its breath in this moment of transition. The birds of the day sing their last, sleepy notes. The air, once warm and full of movement, grows cool and still. The shadows, which had stretched long across the fields, now lose their sharp edges, bleeding into a soft, universal grey. This is dusk, the quiet doorway into the night. High in the rafters of an old, forgotten barn, a place that smells of dry hay, ancient wood, and the dust of seasons past, a single shaft of fading light pierces the gloom, illuminating a galaxy of swirling dust motes. Here, tucked away on a high, broad beam in a space sheltered from wind and rain, a barn owl begins to stir. All day she has been a statue, a silent, feathered form, indistinguishable from the shadows and the wood around her. Her sleep is not like ours, but a state of deep energy, conserving stillness. But now, as the world of the sun recedes, her world begins. An internal, ancient clock, set to the rhythm of fading light, signals that it is time to wake. The awakening is slow, deliberate, and utterly silent. First, her eyelids, like soft, feathered curtains, peel back to reveal two enormous, dark eyes. They are not the eyes of a creature of the day. They are pools of liquid night, designed to gather the faintest traces of light, to see in a world of shadow. They do not blink with alarm, but open with a calm, knowing stillness. She swivels her head. The movement is fluid, almost supernatural. She can turn her neck nearly all the way around, a silent, biological marvel. Her heart-shaped face, a perfect, pale satellite dish of feathers, begins to gather the subtle sounds of the dying day. She hears the last chirp of a cricket, the rustle of a mouse in the hay, bales far below, the gentle sigh of the wind moving around the old barn's eaves. She stretches one great wing, unfurling it to its full, magnificent span. The feathers are a soft, intricate mosaic of buff, gold, and snowy white, mottled with delicate specks of grey and black. She holds the wing out for a moment, feeling the life return to her muscles. Then she draws it back in. She stretches the other. She ruffles her plumage, a soft, almost inaudible shiver running through her body, settling each feather back into its perfect, aerodynamic place. With a sharp, curved beak, she preens a stray feather on her breast, a small act of meticulous housekeeping. She is a creature of immense and silent beauty. Her face, that pale, iconic heart, frames her dark, intelligent eyes. Her body is covered in feathers so soft, so perfectly designed, that they seem to absorb sound itself. She is built for the night. She is built for silence. For a long time, she remains on the beam, perfectly still, a pale ghost in the gathering dark. She is listening, feeling the world shift from one state to another. She is waiting for the precise moment, for the deep, true dark to settle over the land. Her ancient instincts are her guide. The day is gone. The night is hers. The last vestiges of twilight have faded from the sky. Above the sleeping fields, the first sharp diamond, like stars, have begun to appear. A sliver of a crescent moon hangs in the darkness, casting a faint, ethereal, silver light upon the world. The air is cool now, and heavy with the scent of damp earth and night, blooming flowers. Inside the barn, the darkness is almost absolute. The owl, from her high perch, knows it is time. She has listened to the world settle into its nocturnal rhythm. She has felt the temperature drop. She has seen the stars ignite. There is no hesitation, no sound of decision. There is only the act itself. She leans forward, her dark eyes fixed on the large, open hayloft window, a perfect, dark square cut out of the barn's high wall. She pushes off from the wooden beam, not with a jump, but with a graceful, weightless fall. For a single, breathtaking moment, she drops through the still, dark air. Then, with a powerful, silent beat of her great wings, she catches the air and rises. The flight is unlike that of any daytime bird. It is completely, utterly silent. There is no whistle of wind, no thrumming of feathers. The leading edges of her primary flight feathers are serrated like a comb, breaking up the turbulence of the air. The trailing edges are soft and frayed, muffling the sound of the air flowing over the wing. Her entire body is covered in soft, downy feathers that absorb any remaining sound. She is a ghost on the wing, a phantom, a silent hunter. She displaces the air without a whisper. She glides through the dark, cavernous space of the barn, a pale shape moving through the absolute black. She navigates not just by sight, but by a perfect, ingrained, spatial memory of this place, her home. She passes the great, shadowy forms of old farm equipment. She dips under the massive central beam. She reaches the open window. She does not slow down, but with a slight adjustment of her wings, she passes through the opening from the contained, familiar darkness of the barn into the vast, open, starlit darkness of the night. The cool night air rushes beneath her wings, giving her lift. She circles once, high above the sleeping barn, gaining altitude, surveying her domain. From here, she can see the entire world laid out below her, a patchwork of dark fields, even darker lines of trees, and the faint, winding ribbon of a country road. A single, warm, yellow light shines from the window of the distant farmhouse. She is no longer a creature of a single, sheltered space. She is a creature of the entire night sky. The world below is a map of sounds and scents, a landscape she knows intimately. Her flight is not a hurried, frantic search. It is a slow, patient patrol. She glides on the gentle night breezes, her great wings barely moving, conserving energy, her head turning with that uncanny, fluid motion. She is listening with an intensity that we can barely imagine. She is a part of the night now, a silent, watchful presence, drifting on the cool air, beneath the silent, watchful stars. Her hunt has begun. The owl drifts over the sleeping landscape. Her flight is a masterpiece of efficiency and stealth. She uses the gentle updrafts and night winds to her advantage, rarely needing to flap her wings, instead gliding for long distances, a silent, white kite against the dark canvas of the sky. She is a creature of immense patience. She does not seek her prey, she waits for her prey to reveal itself. Her entire being is a finely tuned instrument of detection. Her eyes, those huge, forward-facing orbs, are incredibly sensitive to light. The faint, silvery light from the crescent moon and the distant stars is more than enough for her to see the contours of the land, the shape of a fence post, the edge of a field. But her sight, as remarkable as it is not her primary hunting tool. Her hearing is her superpower. Her face, that beautiful, heart-shaped disc, is not just for show, it is a highly effective sound collector. The stiff, dense feathers of the facial ruff funnel even the faintest sounds toward her ear openings, which are hidden at the sides of her head. Her ears are asymmetrical. One is slightly higher than the other. This tiny difference allows her to pinpoint the source of a sound with astonishing, three-dimensional precision. She can detect the minuscule difference in the time it takes for a sound to reach each ear, allowing her to judge its exact direction and distance. She leaves the open fields and glides towards a hedgerow, a tangled line of trees and shrubs that separates two pastures. She lands on a weathered, grey fence post, her sharp talons gripping the wood securely. The landing is as silent as her flight. From this vantage point, she becomes a sentinel, a patient, watchful statue. She waits. She is listening to the secret life of the field. She hears the gentle rustling of the long grass in the night breeze. She hears the distant call of another owl, but she is listening for something more specific. A tiny, high-pitched squeak. The faint, almost inaudible scratching sound of tiny claws on a dry leaf. The rustle of a small body moving through the dense thatch of grass. On the ground, a field mouse, emboldened by the darkness, scurries from its burrow, its movements hidden from sight by the thick grass. But it is not hidden from the owl's hearing. The owl's head turns, locking onto the source of the sound with an unwavering focus. She can hear the mouse's every movement, can create a perfect three-dimensional map of its location in her mind. She waits for the right moment. The mouse moves into a slightly clearer patch of ground. The owl's body tenses, and then she drops from the post. It is a silent, controlled fall. She plunges downward, her wings held back, then flared at the last moment to act as brakes. Just before impact, she swings her long legs forward, her 8 talons spread wide like sharp, curved daggers. The action is swift, precise, and over in an instant. There is no struggle, no sound. She has found her prey. With the small mouse held firmly in her talons, she pushes off from the ground with a powerful beat of her wings, lifting back into the silent night sky the hunt was not a chase. It was a quiet, patient, and inevitable conclusion, a small, vital part of the great, interconnected cycle of life and death that plays out every night in the quiet fields. She flies toward a familiar, high branch on an old oak tree, a safe place to enjoy her meal. The owl lands on a thick, horizontal branch of an ancient oak tree, a silent silhouette against the star-dusted sky. This is her dining perch, a safe, elevated place where she can eat in peace. She holds the small mouse in one set of talons and, with her sharp, hooked beak, consumes her meal quickly and efficiently. It is a necessary act, the fuel that will power the rest of her night's journey. When she is finished, she enters a state of quiet contemplation. This is the midday rest of her nocturnal world, an interlude of stillness between hunts. She sits on the branch, her feathers fluffed slightly against the cool night air. She is digesting, resting, observing. From this high perch, the world looks different. The farmhouse is a small, dark shape, its lights now extinguished. The country road is a pale, empty ribbon. The world of humans is asleep. This is her time. She begins a fastidious preening. Using her beak, she carefully cleans and realigns her flight feathers, ensuring each tiny barb and barbule is perfectly interlocked. The health of her feathers is the secret to her silent flight, and she maintains them with meticulous care. She reaches back to a gland at the base of her tail, takes a small amount of preening oil in her beak, and carefully waterproofs her plumage. After her grooming is complete, she is still again. She looks up at the sky. She sees the constellations, the great, slow wheel of the stars turning overhead. She sees the faint, milky band of the galaxy stretching across the darkness. She is a creature connected to these vast, cosmic rhythms. And then she calls. It is not the deep, resonant hoo of other owls. Her call is a startling, otherworldly sound. A long, eerie, rasping shriek that cuts through the night silence. It is a territorial call, a declaration of her presence. This is my place. This is my hunting ground. For a long moment, there is only silence. Then, from far across the valley, an answer comes. Another, similar shriek. It is her mate, hunting in his own territory. They are a pair, bonded for life. They do not hunt together, but they maintain their connection throughout the night with these long distance calls. A conversation held across miles of darkness. She settles again, a sense of reassurance in her being. She is not alone in this vast, dark world. Her belly is full, her feathers are in order. Her connection with her mate is affirmed. She rests, her dark eyes blinking slowly, a patient, white guardian in the ancient arms of the oak tree, listening to the deep, slow pulse of the sleeping world. She is perfectly content, perfectly at peace, in the heart of her kingdom of the night. A gentle breeze stirs the leaves of the old oak tree. The owl, feeling a new stirring of hunger, and the instinct to continue her patrol, launches herself from the branch once more. Again, the take-off is completely silent. She drifts away from the familiar fields and heads toward a different landscape. Her flight path takes her over a low, marshy area where a slow, moving stream winds its way through wetlands. The air here is cooler, damper, and smells of wet earth, decaying reeds, and the rich scent of water. The faint moonlight reflects off the dark, still surface of the water, creating patches of shimmering, silver light. The hunting is different here. The sounds are different. She listens not for the rustle of dry grass, but for the soft splash of a frog, the subtle movement of a vole near the water's edge. The acoustics of this place are unique, the sounds muffled by the damp ground and the dense reeds. She glides low over the marsh, a pale wraith just feet above the ground. Her flight is a slow, methodical quartering of the territory, back and forth, missing nothing. She hears the high, pitched buzzing of a mosquito, the deep, jug-o, rum call of a bullfrog. Then she hears what she is listening for, a faint, gnawing sound. A water vole hidden in a clump of cattails, chewing on a tender root. She hovers for a moment, her wings beating the air with that same uncanny silence, her head perfectly still, pinpointing the exact location of the sound. Then she drops. Her long, slender legs plunge into the dense reeds, her talons finding their mark. She rises again, her second meal of the night secured, and flies back toward the higher, drier ground. As she finishes her meal, she feels a subtle change in the world. The night, which had seemed so deep and endless, is beginning to wane. The stars in the eastern sky are starting to fade, their sharp, diamond, like brilliant softening as the first, almost imperceptible hint of dawn approaches. The temperature has reached its lowest point, a deep, pre-dawn chill. The nocturnal animals are beginning to end their activities, seeking the safety of their burrows and dens before the sun returns. The owl feels this shift deep in her bones. Her internal clock tells her that her time is drawing to a close. The hunt is over. It is time to return home. She begins her final flight of the night, a long, gentle glide back toward the old barn. She flies over the same fields she patrolled hours ago, but they look different now. A low-lying mist has formed in the hollows, a soft, white sea in the faint, pre-dawn light. She glides through it, her form appearing and disappearing in the ghostly tendrils of fog. She sees the familiar, dark silhouette of the barn against the lightening eastern sky. Her home, her sanctuary. The night's work is done. She has patrolled her territory, found her sustenance, and affirmed her place in the world. Now, she seeks only the familiar comfort of her roost, the promise of a long, safe, and quiet day of sleep. She approaches the barn, her flight path a direct and certain line. She adjusts her wings, spilling air to slow her glide, and with perfect precision. She passes through the same open hayloft window from which she began her journey. She moves from the cool, open, brightening world outside into the still, dark, familiar world of the barn. The air inside is warmer and thick with the comforting, dusty smell of hay and old wood. She flies up to her favoured beam. High in the rafters, her landing a soft, soundless touch of talons on wood. She is home. From her perch, she looks back out the window. The world is transforming. The grey sky is now streaked with pale pink and a soft lemon yellow. The first true songbird of the morning, a robin, sings its cheerful, cascading song from a nearby tree. The sound is bright and clear in the still air. It is a sound from another world, the world of the day, to which she does not belong. She swivels her head, listening to the changing of the guard. The sounds of the night, the crickets, the calling frogs, are fading. The sounds of the day are beginning. A rooster crows from the distant farmhouse. The world is waking up. The owl begins a final, thorough preening session, her beak meticulously arranging the feathers that the night's flight and the dampness of the mist may have disturbed. She is preparing herself for rest, for stillness. As the light outside grows stronger, she shuffles her feet on the beam, finding the most comfortable position. She turns her head to face the dark interior of the barn, away from the growing light of the window. Her great, dark eyes begin to close. The eyelids, heavy and soft, drift downward. She is not fighting sleep, she is welcoming it. It is the natural, correct conclusion to her active night. Her body, which has been a model of tense, alert readiness, now softens. Her feathers fluff out, trapping a layer of warm air. Her breathing deepens, becoming slow and regular. The campfire, your campfire, crackles softly in the distance, a sound of warmth as the world outside awakens. The barn owl, a creature of the night, a silent, graceful hunter, a ghost in the starlight, is now simply a still, feathered form, at rest in the deep, quiet shadows of her home. She will sleep through the long, bright hours, a hidden, secret presence, dreaming, perhaps, of moonlit fields and silent flight, waiting patiently for the sun to once again surrender the world to the dark. Thank you for wandering with us in the slow world. May your rest be as silent and deep as the owl's flight, and may sleep find you gently